Hello and welcome everyone to my YouTube channel. In continuation with the lecture series on immunology, today is the part 2 Basics of Immunology. Let's proceed. So, let us take a look at the specific learning objectives of today's lectures. This lecture will focus on cells of innate immune system. It will also discuss about the mechanism of innate immunity, and it will talk about pattern recognition receptors and their types. So let us proceed with the lecture. The cells of innate immune system include macrophages, mast cells, dendritic cells, granular leukocytes, mucosa associated lymphoid cells, phagocytic cells, and natural killer cells. Now, in the first lecture of this series, we had discussed about innate immune system. I would just like to remind you that resistance to infections that an individual possesses by virtue of his genetics and constitutional makeup is called innate or native immune system. This does not require prior contact. Further details about innate immune system is available in lecture series 1. So the innate immunity is considered at the level of species, race or individual. And these are the typical cells that contribute to innate immunity in our body. So let us look at the functions of cells of innate immune system one by one. We will begin with macrophages, which include monocyte, histocytes, and fixed reticuloendothelial cells. They detect, engulf, and destroy pathogens and apoptotic cells. The dendritic cells are antigen presenting cells which are found in tissue and skin, and they are primary to the innate immune system. The mast cells release granules and powerful chemical mediators such as histamine, cytokines, and granulocytes. The macrophage colony stimulating factor, leukotrienes, heparin, and many proteases are released by these mast cells into the environment. Now we come to the natural killer cells. The natural killer cells are a class of lymphocytes important in non-specific defense. They selectively kill virus infected cells and tumor cells. These natural killer cells are activated by interferons. Apart from these four types of cells, we also have the granular leukocytes. The granular leukocytes are known as microphages, and these include neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. The neutrophils get rid of any possible harmful microorganism and unwanted debris in the cell. An increase in number of peripheral blood leukocyte is an indication of neutrophils. And apart from this, we also have the phagocytic cells, which mediate natural defense against the invasion of blood and tissues and a major function of reticuloendothelial system in normal foreign particles. The phagocytic cells reach the sites of inflammation in large number, and they are attracted by chemotactic substances, and they ingest particulate material. Apart from these, we also have the complement protein. The details of complement protein will be discussed in details in another lecture. Now let us take a look at the mechanism of innate immune system. The innate immune system is able to identify pathogens based on particular pathogen associated molecular patterns, which are abbreviated as PAMPs. These PAMPs are recognized by special receptors which are known as pattern recognition receptors or PRRs. These PRRs are present on phagocytes or as soluble molecules. So we had just talked about the phagocytes, which are cells of innate immune system, and these phagocytes have special receptors known as pattern recognition receptors, and these pattern recognition receptors are able to identify specific pathogens. The PRR recognition is specific. A particular PRR can recognize a specific PAMP present in different pathogens. So, PRRs are of various types. Let us take a look at the 5 types. The toll-like receptors, these are 13 in all. These are transmembrane receptors and they recognize pathogens. They enhance phagocytosis and they further lead to inflammation at the site of infection. The second type of PRR is known as scavenger receptors, and these include CD36, CD68 and SRB1. These bind to the bacterial cell wall components such as lipopolysaccharides, peptidoglycans, and they also bind to infected, injured, and apoptotic cells and modified lipoproteins. The third kind of PRRs are known as the mannose receptors. These receptors are present on the surface of phagocyte and they bind to mannose rich glycans, which are short carbohydrate chains with mannose and acetylglucosamine or fucose as a terminal sugar. They are commonly found in microbial glycoproteins, and these mannose receptors help to internalize bacterial antigen into the phagocyte. Now, the fourth kind of receptors are known as the nod-like receptors or NLRs. These are nucleotide binding oligomerization domain like receptors. They recognize intracellular bacterial cell products. And the final and the last type of PRR are known as opsonins. These are molecules that bind to the surface of microbes. Phagocytes that have receptor for opsonin are attracted to opsonized pathogen and they engulf them. This is known as opsonization. So these are the different types of PRRs and their mechanism of action in providing innate immunity to our body. Now let us take a look at the process of phagocytosis. So what happens is that a bacteria is endocytosed by these phagocytes. The phagocytes are cells of innate immune system which have the ability to form pseudopodia, and with the help of these pseudopodia the bacteria are phagocytosed into a vacuole. This vacuole is known as phagosome, and uh, the phagosome now fuses with a lysosome. Lysosome has various hydrolytic enzymes. It goes and fuses with the phagosome, and the trapped bacteria are then subjected to all the hydrolytic enzymes present in lysosome. These hydrolytic enzymes are uh, having lytic functions, and so all the bacteria are destroyed inside the phagolysosome. After destruction, the process of exocytosis takes place, and the contents of the phagolysosome are removed outside the phagocyte, and this is the entire process of phagocytosis. These are the references that I have used for preparing this lecture. You can take a look at these if you need to. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and share and subscribe to my channel.